Am I fucking live? I don't even know. Why? Why do I? Why do I need headphones? Just fucking. Where is the speaker coming from? Can I share this bitch? Yes. Hold on. Ah, you motherfucker! What's going on? I hate this. Oh, yeah. Oh, you can mute your microphone and you can hide your chat and you can lock the screen. Good. Twitter. Hashtag. I'm trying to tweet this bitch out through the exact same device I'm using for it. This is annoying. IRL. IRL. Stream. Defenders. No, the Defenders. The hashtag the Defenders. Got it. Hashtag Game of Thrones. The fuck is going on? Alright, cool. I'm like totally out of my fucking element. Donnie, you're out of your element. What was I thinking of? Yes. No. No. Fuck me. I'm live from the middle of nowhere. And go. There's actually somebody watching? Is that real? This is Felix Hergood of the Emergent Gamer Podcast. Do I even have audio? I don't even know. I don't even know if I have audio. And I'm here for my regularly scheduled morning coffee show that normally happens about this time, and I normally play a video game. But right now I'm on vacation. I don't have any of my shit, see? Sunglasses on the head, a beautiful pelican behind me. It's a goddamn pelican. That's a seashell lamp right there. Seashells. Right there. A fucking pelican there. There's a fucking pelican there. There's fucking seashells there. There's a fucking pelican there. There's a pelican there. Look, there's a fucking pelican right here. Look at this shit. Another fucking pelican. Welcome to the beach. This says, sandy toes and salty kisses. Oh, God. And this coffee is not drip coffee like I normally drink. This is Keurig coffee. I don't normally have that either. Normally, I have a drip, and then I have a Keurig, and do I have audio? I don't even know if I have audio. But I've never done an IRL stream in my entire life. I have no idea what that's about. I'm going to drink this coffee and see how it feels. Because you just kind of talk to yourself. You know? Like you're like a fucking batshit out of your mind. Right? Not too hot. Perfect coffee. That's good. That's good. I'm loving it. What if I just sit here and slowly drink coffee like a creepo? Is that breaking the Twitch guidelines for what an IRL stream should be? Am I supposed to be seeing chat? Maybe there is no chat. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I've turned the chat off and I didn't know it. Maybe I am... No? No, I'm not hiding the chat. Oh, anyway, I have this banana here. I'm gonna eat the fuck out of it. Forgot about that shit. But yeah, this is me. It's a pretty fucking gross, disgusting, brown ass banana. I'll eat it. I'll eat the fuck out of it. Anybody who's watching, please type in the chat. I don't know if it's working. This is my first IRL stream ever. You gotta help me out. You gotta say something. Say boob. Say fuck. Say that. Type that in the chat. Say, shut the fuck up, you dick. Say, IRL streams are for other people, not you. Say, what kind of coffee do you have there in your fucking seashell mug? There are seashells everywhere. They're over there, over there. Pelicans back there. There's a fucking lighthouse there too, though. See the lighthouse? Right there. Lighthouse. Got one of those. I wonder if I don't have sound. Maybe I don't have sound. That's what it is. I'm muted. Maybe I need these. Oh! It's Solar Art. How you doing, bud? Hey, vacation's going, bro. We're having a good time here. This is the room that I've been living in for the last week. You can hear me. Good. I wasn't sure if anyone could hear me, so... Yeah, but I've been living in this room for like the past week, and it's been good, you know. I'm down here with my fam, with my immediate fam, like my parents and my sisters. I got two sisters, one of them somewhere else, and the other one's here. ASW, welcome to the stream. This is Felix Hergood. How you doing, ASW? Yeah, I'm happy as shit. I'm on vacation, bros. Dude, I had to take the vacation, man. I had to relax. Back's been killing me, though, because this fucking bed sucks my dick. Hurts my back. Don't like this bed. I got like a memory foam at home, and I don't have one here, and it's unbelievable, the memory foam at home. So my back, you know, old man back, been a little tore up, but I'm doing well. Glad to have ASW, Solar Art, glad to have you guys in there. But let's get to the facts. This coffee is, it's called Breakfast Blend. It's a Keurig. It gets to the chase, man. The Keurig. It just gets to the chase. I love it. Although I make significantly stronger coffee when I actually have a a drip. Like I'll fill in like probably like 6 or 7 scoops of coffee in like a pot for like 6 cups. Like it's like a scoop. Is it right? Scoop per cup? Probably not. That's probably not true. But I do it anyway. But anyway, there is a point to this IRL stream. So let's kind of get to it. It's so weird that I'm only by myself, right? Like I'm just talking. This is my first time doing this, guys. Whoa, that's pretty cool. This rock says, I don't know if you see it backwards. Balshazar, welcome to the chat as well. This says 1620 on it. I know that you're seeing it backwards, but 1620. Like that's Plymouth Rock. What? First identified in 1741 by Elder Thomas Founts as the Pilgrim's 1620 landing place. Forefathers, or Plymouth Rock, is the principal symbol of the humble origins of the American nation. From 1774 to 1921, it was moved several times in efforts to honor and protect the famous relic, which now rests in its original location on the historic Plymouth waterfront. Its familiar image evokes the intrepid Mayflower adventure in the hearts of all America. It's a miniature Plymouth Rock. What the fuck? That's just sitting over here on the desk. Don't understand. No, I don't. I haven't smoked that since 2003. I haven't smoked weed since 2003. It's been a long time, bro. They announced, whoa, didn't hear about this. They announced Hellboy, Black Banis, and Raiden. We're playing some Injustice 2 when I get back, huh? When are they coming out, though? Solar Art, I did not pack my Enron mug. Yeah, those are specialty mugs. They don't leave my condo. They can't leave. But yeah, Hellboy, Black Manis, and Raiden. That's exciting. Well, Raiden, I could give a shit about Raiden, to be honest with you. Because I'm just tired of Ed Boon putting Mortal Kombat characters in Injustice. I think he should just come out with really cool Injustice characters from the DC Comics and stop fucking dropping in his favorite Mortal Kombat characters. I think that's kind of bullshit. All that was Solar Art. All that was written right on the motherfucker. On the Plymouth Rock. There's also a giant pelican. There's a fucking pelican everywhere. And then, this is great. You're not going to be able to read it. Home is where the waves are. Wait. Home is where the waves are. This is what I have to adore. It's good, though. It's good to be at home. Good to be with family. Not sure if they are fighter pack 2 characters. Solar Art, I just woke up. Yeah, I'm not drunk, if that's what you think. I'm definitely not drunk. No, I haven't had a drink the whole time I was here. I've been completely sober. I'm just super tired, dude. I'm super tired. Just got up. I got a long day today because I am cruising. I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm leaving and I got to take a ferry and it's going to be fun. So, to my next destination, which is somewhere else. Yeah, like right now I'm in Maryland, and then I'm going to cruise and I'm going to go over to Jersey. It's going to be fun. I don't know if any of you know where any of those things are, but that's, it's about a 3-hour, I think it's about a 3-hour drive. So after I talk to you guys, I'm going to get in the road, do a little driving. Yeah. No, no, no. I'm Mary MD. MD. Maryland. They are the characters for Fighter Pack 2. Yeah, I figured ASW, that's what you're talking about. They are the characters. Yeah, so ASW was talking in the stream for Injustice 2. We're going to get Black Manus, which I think we all knew because we could tell by the shape of the character. We're getting Hellboy. Yeah. That's really cool. And then we're getting Raiden. Okay, it's Raiden. Whatever. We'll have fun with the lightning. But anyway, let me get to my point here. My point today is I wanted to have a spoiler full discussion about Defenders. I hope everybody watched it. Did you do your homework? I've been talking about this, and I've been saying that I wanted to do a spoiler full discussion of Defenders, which just came out recently on Friday, you know? So I hope everyone in the chat is game to talk spoiler full about the Defenders and possibly Game of Thrones that just recently passed. And then maybe a little bit, we can talk game stuff too. I mean, of course, I'm always down for talking games. But I wanted to talk about that. So type in the chat if you're cool having a spoiler full discussion of Defenders and their most recent Game of Thrones, meaning you watched it. You can also tell me all of it's shit and you don't care. Like, anyone can say that. You can say, I hate all that shit. I don't care about any of it. I mean, we're not going to have much of a discussion. There's not going to be an open dialogue between us because I love that shit. I love a lot of it. But yeah, type in the chat if you think spoiler full is going to be okay for you, or I'll watch the number of people watching me go down. Yeah, because I wonder how much, is there a delay? I wonder how much. Can I Ish Darkness says, can you spoil every TV show? I can only spoil the TV shows that I've watched, but there's a lot of TV shows I haven't watched, you know. But, you know. Well, the reason I was going to talk about Defenders is because I wasn't too happy with it, to be frank with you. I didn't think it was it's not bad superhero TV. I mean, how can that? I mean, bad superhero TV is like Gotham and the CW shows. I still enjoy them, but they're like junk food, you know? They're not really the best shit that I've ever watched. But I still enjoy them. I still enjoyed... Then spoil it for yourself and Google the ending. Of what TV shows? I don't even know what TV shows you're talking about. But yeah, so Defenders kind of left me a little empty. It did. Ish Darkness is like, first we need to start with what Defenders is. Yes, that's a good point, Ish Darkness. Thank you for the guidance. Yeah, so the Defenders is a 4-character, I don't know, showdown between characters that have had their own shows up until this point. So you had, this was all put together by showrunner Marco Ramirez. That's his name. You can look him up. He was the showrunner for Daredevil Season 2. The 4 characters are as follows. Daredevil. It came in this order. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. Daredevil was the first show that did really well on Netflix. There's been 2 seasons of that show. It started off great, and it introduced what we consider street level heroes of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The big thing that they've made a claim on is that these characters are associated with the ones that you see when you go to the movies. So Daredevil and Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist are connected to Iron Man and Captain America and those characters, and all the events that you see in those movies are also taking place in the same world as these characters. This tends to be not like, you start to get to this point if you study this bullshit as thick as I do, you start to get to this point where you don't really start to buy the plausibility of that. If you really soak in the shared universe experience on the level that I do, where I expect them to make it full on fucking... I expect them all to communicate, and they're not. Marvel TV and Marvel films, they're not communicating. I don't know what the reason for that is. It could be people have claimed there's a rift between Kevin Feige, who does the film, and then at one point there was a guy named Perlmutter who was running all that shit for ABC television, and supposedly there was a rift. I don't know if any of that shit's true. People speculate like a motherfucker. Oh wait, I got an ad. Too Nasty. Welcome to the stream, Too Nasty. How you doing? And Craggle is in. How you doing, bud? Sorry, I was just pausing there on my thoughts. And I'm fucking farting. That's gonna goddamn happen. It's gonna happen. Now I'm sitting in it. Alan, welcome to the chat. How you doing, bud? Welcome, Alan. Jesus Christ, you guys are all coming in today. I appreciate that. Yeah, so what I was saying is, so you have these 4 characters come together in this show. Now, each character is marketed with their own, this is funny, their own literal color scheme and their own, like, theme for their storytelling. I don't think that's totally an accident. I think it was definitely intentional. The more awake than normal. I'm seeing more black usernames. Our numbers are growing. Soon we will take over. Oh, in the chat color scheme. Yeah, see, so there's just a chat color scheme here. Very similar to the characters from the show. Like, Bryhaven is Daredevil. Alan Gets Hiffy is, he's Jessica Jones. And then Black Heaping Darkness, that must be the Hand. I'm sorry, I was making things up. I was talking about color schemes. So all 4 characters have color schemes. Luke Cage has yellow. Jessica Jones has like a purple thing going on. Daredevil is red. And Iron Fist has like a green or yellow. No, green. I think he's totally green. So all 4 characters have this unique color scheme. And their advertising, their graphic design, and it's all cool, but up until this point, they've all been separate. Every single one have been separate. They're not crossing over to their shows. So you have Daredevil functioning in Hell's Kitchen of that New York, and Jessica Jones somewhere else, maybe in Hell's Kitchen, maybe somewhere, but they're not friends, and they don't know each other. And the point of the Defenders is they all come together for a big thing that they have to stop. That was hinted at in Daredevil Season 2. So Daredevil Season 2 starts to imply that there's some greater big bad that could be happening, and that eventually it needs to be solved, right? And then we all got the hint in Daredevil Season 2 that that the thing that was hinted at in Daredevil Season 2 was going to be the big event for the Defenders. And we were building toward this. I was getting excited. Rock fucking hard. Yeah, this is exciting. I'm loving this stuff. That headboard is not bolted to the wall, Alan. I don't think it is. I'm going to look. Yeah, it can get kind of crazy. Mrs. Felix isn't here though, so There it is. Yeah, Craggle, I am patiently waiting because in Daredevil season 2, we had the luxury of getting introduced to my favorite character in comic books. I literally am reading. Hold on. I literally am reading Punisher Max. This is the volume 2 of the trade paperback for the Punisher Max run, which was about a 75 book arc. And I am currently halfway through it. And he's my favorite character. He's been my favorite character because he's an average dude who just used guns to shoot his way out of shit. In a world full of superpowered beings, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so he goes and gets introduced in Daredevil season 2. In the beginning of that season, by the way, Daredevil season 2, in my opinion, is structurally the best arc. It has a perfect television 3-act structure. The whole season, I mean. It goes from first third, you're dealing with the Punisher problem. He gets introduced, vigilantes and all that. And then moves into the Elektra storyline, where Matt is getting to know Elektra. And then, then there's a showdown with the Hand at the end, who's secretly behind everything and want to get a hold of Elektra. Hold on, I'm reading the chat. Peter Dinklage has a small headboard. I imagine he does. I almost forgot it was a Netflix series for a sec. Oh, when you were watch? Yeah, so... Are you John Brad? I don't know what that means. I don't know what you mean, Craggle. I almost forgot it was a Netflix series or a person watch. I think you mean like a person watching the Netflix series of any of these shows forgot it was a Netflix. I don't understand what you mean. You're gonna have to clarify that. I think you've stumped me. You almost forgot it was a Netflix series. What does that mean? Anyway, the point is these 4 characters after the big whole for season 2 of Daredevil, it was so good. Oh, it was so good that I forgot. Person watching forgot it was a Netflix series. I mean, well, the reason I'm asking a question about that is like, do you believe the Netflix series are normally, do they have like this quality of being like not good? Because most Netflix series that I've watched have a quality of being great. And that's why I get surprised when I watch something that I'm not as excited about. Because most of the time, even with Orange is the New Black, which is a show that I wouldn't even normally have sat down to watch, I was encouraged by Mrs. Felix to try it out. I sat down and watched Orange is the New Black, and I watched like 3 whole seasons of that show. And the only reason we fell off watching it is because we just got into other shit. I think Orange is the New Black is terrific television. And that's not really, I don't fall into that demographic of a viewer. And one thing I wanted to talk about today is I read an article where somebody was speculating that the reason why the Defenders didn't work is because, okay, so the article states, through interviews with the showrunner Marco Ramirez, that, and this dude who's supposed to control Netflix, like, he's supposed to punch the numbers on demographics or something. The impression I got was that they were trying to meet the needs of all 4 shows' demographics. So Daredevil, I don't know what the official numbers were, but Daredevil, what we'll say hypothetically was, males, 23 to 45, and then Jessica Jones was primarily females between a certain age, and these were the target audiences they were trying to hit for all respective shows. And then I have no fucking clue. Luke Cage was you know, black Americans between a certain age, and then who the fuck knows what Iron Fist was marketed to? People who specifically like kung fu movies. That's pretty much it. And then they didn't even do good kung fu in the show. I don't even understand what they were thinking. Hiring an actor who's not bad, but hiring an actor who didn't have a martial arts background. I don't get it. I mean, yeah, okay, he's blonde and blue eyes. He'll fit the part of Iron Fist. That's great. You got the casting color right, but does it fucking matter? Like, the guy doesn't really fucking know what he's doing, and people have to fucking come in and stand in for him constantly, and you can tell he's standing. I don't know. But I still like him. I still like Finn Jones, and I'm still okay with Iron Fist as a character. I think he's fine. But this demographic thing. So from what I'm reading, they wanted to hit all 4 of their demographics, all of them being dramatically different, right? And they wanted to make the show feel good for all the people who had watched the previous shows. So if you were a Jessica Jones fan, you would sit and you would watch this Defenders and feel just as good as you felt when you watched Jessica Jones. If you were Daredevil, you know. So they put in elements from all the shows. Jessica Jones is smarmy and sarcastic, like she was in the show. She doesn't really understand all the bullshit that she's going through. Daredevil there's a lot of cool martial arts scenes with him, and then Iron Fist, I mean, he's still talking about his chi. And then, you know, Luke Cage is a good, wholesome guy who's just trying to help the community, right? But I think it failed. I think trying to meet the needs of all these demographics, they shit the bed. Especially because the center point, the central focus of the Defender storyline continues something that they started in the Iron Fist storyline. So Iron Fist is, in his storyline, he's kind of like the center of the story. Actually, truthfully, the Iron Fist story is all about him fighting his own privilege. He's a white dude who wants to go back and claim his property, the shit he owned at one point. You know, he left. The whole family got, you know, crashed in a plane in the middle of Tibet or whatever, and then he goes up on the mountain and proceeds to learn how to be a warrior and with this chi and kunlun and all that shit, and then finally comes back, decides to come back, and then wants to claim his property from the person who stole it, who's almost like a father figure to him. So to me, it was like he's just fighting his own privilege, and that's the whole storyline, which I thought was pretty good. If you put that lens on it, if you put the lens of, hey, I'm watching something where this guy is trying to achieve get his property back, get his privilege back, like, that's pretty cool. And that's what the story is, if you watch it that way. If you watch it like you're expecting him to be the mortal Iron Fist who's Mr. Kung Fu, he's not that. They're doing something with that character that every fan should be pissed about. They're not being nice. They're not doing fan service whatsoever. They decided to write that character how that character fit their needs. And it's just like, I don't know. Craggle says, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes the casting for Netflix is subpar. I don't think he's subpar. I think he's right, exactly right for what they wanted to do with the character. They fucked the character up. Finn Jones isn't fucking the character up. They're guiding him on where to go with it. You know, and he just, I don't know, man. He's playing the character. This is how I wrote it, and I think I was typing online. He's playing the character like he should be the person delivering all the answers. And he's playing the character like he's asking all the fucking questions. And that's the problem. He's like the guy who's always like, what are we doing? You know? Like, really? Okay. I didn't know that. Why? What? Hey, what's going on? How? What? I don't understand. You know, like, he's constantly fucking, like, playing it like he's confused. And in the comics, he's the guy who delivers all the answers. He's like, this is where we will be going next. This is my chi. It tells me where this bullshit is going to happen. Like the mystical shit. And that doesn't exist. He's just like a lost guy who doesn't seem to be very immortal at all, who doesn't really even understand his little fist. And then that carries right in from Iron Fist right into this story. And then to add insult to injury for the people who hated Iron Fist, they make this character the center of the story. Kind of. In the latter half of Defenders, it seems to be about making they gotta open a fucking door and they find out that Iron Fist is the goddamn key. So he's the key. I told you this was gonna be a spoilerful thing, so I'm sorry if I just spoiled the shit out of everything. I didn't. So Iron Fist is the key. You need his fist to open a wall. And here's where we get to the crux of why I think the demographic push, the interest to care about demographics above all things and not creativity, stifled the creativity. If you care more about meeting your demographics, you're going to think twice before making creative decisions that would match the story that you're trying to tell. So for instance, the Jessica Jones crowd as an example, that is a gritty detective story, like a real world detective story. The people who watch it are probably pragmatic in thought. In other words, if you're in the middle of a detective story and all of a sudden somebody walks through a wall magically, you're going to say in your head, you're going to go, what the fuck just happened? Unless it's the villain in the detective story. The villain in the detective story could have some kind of mysterious power but ultimately in a detective story, think about Sherlock Holmes, think about anything we're watching. If we find out in the end that the villain walking through the wall is actually the villain walking through the wall, then we're going to hate that detective story. Because at least Sherlock Holmes and a bunch of things that model themselves after Sherlock Holmes, if you find out there's some mysterious thing, you got to find out there's a pragmatic solution in the end. So you have this, Columbo, exactly. Columbo's an example. When you discover what really is happening, it's nice to know there was a pragmatic thing that had occurred behind the scenes that created the illusion that there was some magic in the world. That's how Sherlock Holmes always ended. Sherlock Holmes would end with some kind of you thought it was a great mystery, but ultimately in the end, it was really just a bunch of things we didn't think about, Sleight of hand or some fucking special gadget was causing it or whatever. And it created the illusion that this had happened. And that's what Jessica Jones is rooted in the storytelling. It's rooted as a show that's a good detective story. What's great about Jessica Jones is, if you didn't watch it, and by the way, it's my favorite show, is she is going up against something superpowered. But his superpower is kind of like a psychological one that deals in her past. We understand from the beginning that she's a superhero that hates superpowers. And good reason, because the superpowers of the villain she goes up against are very real and really difficult for anyone to overcome, because he can just talk to people and make them fucking do whatever he wants. It's his voice that they claim in the show, it's not like this in the comics, but they claim in the show that he has like a virus in his vocal cords or something that can make people do whatever they want. They don't explain the science well, and I don't care. I don't need the science explained well. So it's not 100%. Jessica Jones is not 100% Sherlock Holmes in its how it solves its problem, right? The problem is solved is very, very pragmatic, because and I'm not going to give it away if you didn't watch it, but I won't give away endings. I just can't, guys. I can't give away endings, but yeah, how it comes to its solution is very down to earth and real. So, skip forward to the Defenders. What are we going to do in terms of our marketing? What are we going to do? Well, we got to keep all the audiences happy. Well, maybe the Jessica Jones. So someone's sitting in a fucking room and they're literally going, well, maybe the Jessica Jones crowd isn't going to be. I like Jessica Jones a lot, and all my friends hated it. Well, what would be the demographic of your friends? Because when it comes down to it, they really were thinking hard about demographics. So maybe they weren't marketing to your friends, and the show had elements in it that your friends didn't enjoy. I loved it. I thought it was a great show. But you get the Defenders, and they say, we got to meet the Jessica Jones crowd, the Daredevil crowd, the Luke Cage crowd, and and Luke Cage's story was also very pragmatic. I mean, they were just trying to save Harlem from some pretty corrupt people, and the whole story is there's no real magic. The only person with superpowers in that story is Luke Cage. No one else has superpowers in that story. So he's OP for the villain at the end of that. The villain actually has to, which is like his old friend or brother or whatever. He has to like augment himself some way in order to even fight Luke Cage. So I'm hoping that in the future there's something to match Luke Cage's power that comes up against him in a newer season. But the problem is both Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. By the way, Luke Cage started on Jessica Jones. If you didn't watch it, he starts in the show and then he goes into his own show. But these two characters are rooted in pragmatism, like real world gritty type things. It's fine. I like that. I like that in a story. I'm a huge fan of Elmore Leonard novels. So crime fiction is something that I've been very comfortable with over the years. So I'm good with that. And then Daredevil. And then you have these other two characters, Daredevil and Iron Fist. And this is the problem. They're rooted in mysticism. Magical shit. Right? So you have a problem. Who do you push Defenders toward? Which demographic? The rooted pragmatic fuckers? Or the people out there who are enjoying the magical shit and want to see more? And I think they just said fuck it and didn't know what they wanted to do. And they ended up kind of trying to meet the needs of all of them. And it's weird, the way that they met the mystical shit was they implied it like it could be. Like the ending, the villain, the big bad in Defenders would end up being something beyond our imagination, right? That we couldn't think of. Because you had these lead-ins that were amazing. Sometime in the middle of Daredevil, he gets to this construction site. He's fighting all these hand members who are supposedly coming from nowhere, and then he discovers, oh my God, they're all coming out of this hole in the ground, a giant hole. And that's how the episode ends. And it was a great tease. You were like, what the fuck is that hole? And then you start writing, hashtag hole, the hole, and like crazy shit when you're on Twitter. And it's one of these things where there's this mystical tease, like there's something beyond our imagination. Then they do it again at the beginning of Defenders. There's a massive earthquake emanating from where the hole was. Hashtag the hole. And you're like, holy shit, there's an earthquake emanating from the hole. It's a big hole. So I'm thinking in my head, it's a big fucking hole. What does a big hole usually lead to? A big bad, a super fucking bad villain. So four of my favorite characters are going to be the underdogs soon. This is what I'm thinking in my head. And I'm wanting that. I'm now thinking, I can't wait to see what this huge fucking thing is. Right? Or am I just dumb? You tell me. If you watched it and watched all of it and you thought it was great, were you expecting a big bad? Because I was. Every hint led to that. Then we find out at the bottom of the hole is a magical door that's been sealed for a reason. And you're like, oh, this shit's been sealed for a reason. All this is what we're finding out. And it's all leading to a mystery that's going to turn into something great, isn't it? I'm going to spoil this. Get the fuck out if you don't want to. There's nothing behind the door. Nothing. Literally nothing. I mean, it's implied that there's like the bones of some creature down there, but it's stupid. It's dumb. There's nothing behind the fucking door. Hashtag nothing behind the fucking door. and I was let down. I'm not happy. You teased for the mystical crowd, for the magical crowd, the people who wanted the fantasy. You teased that it was coming. Nothing happened. And there's a shit ton of bad villains that you could choose from. I mean, a lot. Like Mephisto is the one that everyone thought it was going to be. It's almost like a devil. You know, like there's a lot of creatures, not devils, but a lot of creatures you could pick that could end up being this villain behind this door. Anything from the mystical land of Kunlun. I'm sure there's some fucking weird wizard or like, it doesn't matter. It could be anything. And I'd be more satisfied. Anything but what we had, which was more of the same. Lots of fist fighting. And by the way, entirely in darkness. And this I assume is because they were afraid that people were going to see that Finn Jones can't fight still. That's all I can figure. Because the whole final sequence is completely dark. I had to turn the brightness up on my motherfucking TV. Seriously. In order to watch this, the brightness on the TV had to come up. So I wasn't happy with them building toward this. And like I said, it seems that demographics nipped them in the fucking... They were afraid that if they put in all this mystical shit, the pragmatic crowd, on their most popular TV shows, by the way, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are their top TV shows. We may think that Daredevil is their top TV show because it was first and it did a great job, but it's not. You can look it up. Daredevil, it was not the best. It's not their best-selling show. Their most popular in terms of like hits or whatever the fuck they're measuring. The most popular shows are Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. They did really fucking well. So they're trying to hold on to that crowd. They want that crowd. So they fucked that story because they want that crowd. And I'm kind of pissed about it. Now, I'm not pissed about where I think the respective shows are going to go based on how it ended. And I honestly, I don't need to spoil the ending of that. Just know that there's a really good lead for Daredevil. Now, there's been speculation online that okay, so Craggle, that's fair. That's fair. So that might mean that, because you did say earlier that you're a huge fan of Jessica Jones, and it is very rooted in pragmatism, that might mean that you are of the demographic of the Jessica Jones and Luke Cage crowd, which, like I said, I'm not like, I loved those shows, so I'm not like somebody who didn't enjoy that shit. I'm not like in one camp or the other, because I liked it all. I'm just saying, based on where they were leading me, I expected something different, and that's why I was let down. If you did not, I mean, I don't know if you've even watched it, but if you did not, if you won't be let down by a pragmatic ending, you're going to get that. And like I said, for me, that makes sense for the characters. That 100% makes sense for where they had gone with those characters, with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. And even Daredevil and even Iron Fist. They're still grounded characters. And Marco Ramirez has said numerous times that they were grounded characters. Super grounded. They're trying to ground the characters in reality, as opposed to having big, huge... Like, I don't want... You're getting me wrong. I don't want some big superhero Avengers type battle. Like, I didn't want that. But I wanted anything that was a bigger mystery. Just a bigger mystery than what it was. That, because it wasn't big. It wasn't a big mystery. Anyway, there's some setups for the various character seasons. And this is all speculation. But there was talk online that Daredevil's going to be doing... A lot of people are saying they're going to be doing the Frank Miller run of Born Again, which I'm not really familiar with Frank Miller doing Daredevil. I didn't even know he did. I'm familiar with Frank Miller doing Welcome Back Frank, Punisher. So I'm familiar with Frank Miller doing stuff. But I didn't know he did Daredevil. I didn't know he did Born Again. And there's talk online that they could be doing the Frank Miller Born Again story. And then I read it, just glancing at a wiki page, I read that the Daredevil storyline has Karen Page as a drug addict, and she like reveals like something about like Daredevil's identity and all the shit. This is in the storyline for Born Again, and I'm like, okay, nothing about this setup so far leads to Born Again being the story that they're going to be doing. Like, to me, and this doesn't reveal anything about the end of Defenders, they're pointing towards Shadowland. And if you don't know what Shadowland is Daredevil becomes the head of the hand, and is essentially under the spell of some like mystical beast, and ends up creating a fortress in Hell's Kitchen called Shadowland. And honestly, if they do Shadowland and we get to see Charlie Cox playing against type, like he's not a good guy and he's fucking evil, that would be really cool for a part of the season. You know, like they got to pull him back from him being all fucked up. Unfortunately, if you want to do Shadowland, you have to bring in your other characters. You have to, and now, like in the comics for Shadowland, Spider-Man is one of the characters. Obviously, you're not going to have him because he's a film character, right? This is what I'm talking about. Them not truly crossing over bothers the fuck out of me. Okay, I understand rights, you know, licensing and rights, and only certain characters be in the movies, only certain characters be on TV shows. I get it. You own all the fucking characters, though, dicks. Break your own rules. Sorry, that's just me. I won't say that ever again. Because I know it's not allowed. The lawyers won't permit it. But anyway, so Shadowland, Daredevil creates a fortress, and starts controlling the hand. I think the end of Defender, if you watched it, you'd know what I'm talking about. I think Defenders is pointing towards him, Shadowland. Like, I mean, it's going to be pretty neat. I like, they also brought Misty and Colleen Wing together. Misty Knight, the character from Luke Cage, and Colleen Wing, the character from Iron Fist, in the comics have their own comic. The two of them have comics. And Misty, up until this point, has had, in the comics, a bionic arm. Well, we just saw where that's going. If you've been watching if you watched the Defenders, then you saw that the bionic arm is around the corner, which is awesome. And then Colleen Wing and Misty Knight are now friends. So they can't. One thing they can't avoid about all of this that isn't going to feel right if we go into the other shows is they all know each other now. I don't know how they're gonna deal with that in terms of like the individual shows, because it doesn't make logical sense for them to go back to their respective corners. It doesn't make any sense for them to go to their respective corners now and not help each other. So there has to be room for more crossover in the future. I don't fuck your licensing. You got to figure out how to pay these actors. I'm sorry. You're making a shit ton of money. I got nothing. You got to figure out how to get these characters on each other's shows, because it's just not going to feel right. Oh, they got together for the Defenders team up and then not once, never crossed paths again. It's not going to look right. Especially now that you've introduced Colleen Wing and Misty Knight, characters from two separate shows. They have to. They don't need their own show, but they have to come together. They know each other now. They're friends. So it's going to be, that's going to be really interesting. I hope Colleen Wing shows up as a character on Luke Cage. I think it would be cool. Or vice versa. Misty Knight showing up on Iron Fist. I think at one point Misty Knight and Iron Fist are dating in the comics. So that's even weirder. Because the woman, the actress that's playing Misty Knight in Luke Cage does not seem like she would give two shits about Finn Jones. It's hard for me to even buy that the Luke Cage we have on screen would respect that Finn Jones, that Iron Fist. See, Iron Fist commands respect in the comic because he's the one delivering the answers. People go to him for answers. And you have a character that they build on screen who's a whiny fucking puss that people can't, like, audience members can't tolerate him. We were even surprised the other characters are tolerating him. I don't know. It's really hard for a lot of people to stomach. Anyone have any thoughts about any of that? I mean, I just talked, and I just kept talking. I don't even fucking know what time it is. I'm doing almost an hour, so that's pretty good. How long are these IRL stream things supposed to be? And anyone can disagree with me. The purpose of this chat is for the discussion. I'm not just here to espouse my. I keep using that word. That's not even a real word. I think I mean expound, and I keep saying espouse. I think espouse means something entirely different than what I keep saying. But I appreciate everyone being in today. This is good. This discussion is rolling. You got me talking. Yeah, Craggle, back to what your thought about the production value sometimes is disappointing. Two things. One thought is, for the Defenders, the production value was amazing. And that is in the first 4 episodes, when they're building to the characters meeting, before they meet, you notice the lighting. The lighting for every time you see Daredevil has like a red hue. Every time you see Iron Fist green, every time you see Luke Cage yellow, every time you see Jessica Jones like a blue filter's on that shit. Amazing, noticeable before they meet. Then after that, when they're all together, it gets blurred. They just picked random filters, I think. I don't know, it seemed random. They were picking random filters for different scenes, depending on what character was in the scene or shot or whatever. No, Trab says you want me to go for 24 hours straight. Is that what you're saying? No, Trab, I can't, man. I got to get on a ferry and start cruising. I gotta start cruising in like probably about an hour. But I appreciate you being in here, Trab. Trab is a constant correspondent for the Emergent Gamer podcast. I don't have any of my normal gizmos or anything like that. Trab, if you want to type, I don't know, the link or something. What's whose name? What's whose name? I don't even know. What are you asking? I don't understand. What's his name? What's my name? Felix Hergood. And you're Trab. It is Trab, right? Yeah, it says Trab. Got your little sword next to your... Alan has a sword. He's a mod, and Trab's a mod. What's whose name? I don't even know what you're talking about, dude. What are you talking about? Whose name? Wait. Looking back here. Anyway. All right. Yeah, well, the last podcast we posted was Friday, was the day the Defenders came out. It's a podcast about primarily about Hellblade. We talk about the Hellblade series. It's number 136. You said you had to ride a ferry. Now, Trab, I don't have to ride a ferry. I don't even know what you're talking about, dude. A ferry, yes, a ferry. Ferry. I have to drive a car onto a ferry. It's disturbing. I'm only cool once I get up to the top deck. A little nervous before then. Too nasty. Laughing in the stream. Too nasty. He's just like typing ha ha. That's pretty much all he types. That's what he's been typing. You guys. His name is Robert Paulson. All right, Trab. Way to break it up. Good time. Good time. So I talked about my Defenders. I had problems with Defenders. It wasn't my favorite thing, but I think it sets up some really cool shit for the other characters. I hope they do Daredevil Shadowland. I think that would be cool. I like the fact that Misty Knight is getting her arm finally. That's going to be great. Did it? I don't think it set anything up for Jessica Jones. Did it? Like, I don't think so. I don't think there was anything like... Because she doesn't have much comic material to even go with. So there's nothing... Like, I have no idea what the next season of Jessica Jones is even going to be about. You know? Her comic, like Alias Investigations, is dramatically different than that show. In fact, the show only comprises the last... So there are 4 trade paperbacks of the Alias Investigations comic book, which is her original comic book. Now, there is a newer comic book that's out now that's currently in release, where they're on like maybe 10 issues so far, a little bit more than that, called Jessica Jones. But originally it was called Alias Investigations. Came out in 2001. And it's dramatically different. The Purple Man is only in the last trade paper out of 4 trade paperbacks. He's only in the last trade paperback. So most of what you see, kind of what you see in the show, is stuff that comes out of that final book. The first 3 books are completely different. It's funny that there's a scene in Defenders where Daredevil rushes into an interrogation room when Jessica Jones is being interrogated by Misty Knight. And that scene, it's not Misty Knight interrogating her, but in that scene in the comic book, that scene, some of the dialogue between Daredevil and Jessica Jones in Defenders is struck right from that scene in the comic book. Because Daredevil comes in and tells this investigator that's interrogating her that, he needs to take his client and get the hell out of there. So that was really cool that they kind of brought that scene into the Defenders. A ferry goes from point A to point B in life. A ferry. Ferry, dicks. And I get to ride one from point A to point B. I think I rode one of those, or it was a duck boat. They got the duck boats up in Boston, Alan? I didn't fucking know that. We got Ride the Ducks here in Philly. I guess the duck boats are a thing, and then it could be anywhere. But fuck it. Actually, I like what you said there, Craggle. Yeah, probably it's going to be about her teaching the blonde how to pick the right guy. Craggle, does that mean you read Alias Investigations? That it sounds like, Craggle, that means you read Alias Investigations, because, or unless you're making a joke that's really well positioned, because it's really funny. There's some annoying scenes in the Alias Investigation comic book that I thought were terrible, where Jessica Jones, it's not Jessica Jones is helping the blonde. Jessica Jones is friends, this is so crazy, with Carol Danvers, who's going to be the new Captain Marvel in the upcoming movie. So Jessica Jones, the character, is friends with Carol Danvers, who I think had recently become Captain Marvel. And they're out having brunch or whatever in New York City. And Carol Danvers is trying to get Jessica Jones hooked up with the right guy. And ultimately in the story, Carol Danvers gets Jessica Jones hooked up with Scott Lang, our Ant-Man from the movies. So it's like, when you're reading it, knowing who the actors were that played those characters, you're envisioning them in your head as opposed to reading the comic now. And you're like, this is so fucking weird. Unlikely Nerd, I should not have to clarify ferry and fairy. All right? I just said 2 different words. What the fuck are you people talking about? And even if I was talking about fairy, I would be talking about the mythical being, the mythical creature, the fairies. Get the fuck out of here. That's not the kind of stream I'm trying to have here, motherfuckers. I did not say dick boat. Ferry, fairy, duck, dick. I know, Craggle. It's so funny, though, Craggle, that you brought that up, because that was the most annoying thing about the Alias comic. That whole back and forth between Captain Marvel and Jessica Jones was fucking annoying. I was like, why is this comic being like all melodramatic about like dating? Like, what is the deal? But no, here's what I really think. I think they're going to develop Hellcat. That's what I'm excited about, because the blonde is Hellcat. Well, at least the character name is Hellcat. She becomes Hellcat. It's implied in the first season that she's going to be Hellcat because she's doing all that martial arts shit, and she took that drug, that enhancement drug that the other dude took, Nuke, or whatever his name is. That's his comic name, Nuke. Nuke something. Stop being such a ferry. Like F-E-R-R-Y. So you're carrying people on your backs from one point A to point B. I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey, Joe, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Just thank you, Craggle and Too Nasty. Welcome, Callisto G. How you doing? And, okay. Windows Vista clearly typed something that it's not supposed to. What's up, Windows Vista? Yeah, I have it. I have my setting Windows Vista on the on links deleted. So, sorry about that, dude. And thank you for the host, Bejeebus. I appreciate it. Nuke Dukem. No, Trab. That's not his name. No, Trab. Nope. That's not his name. Wow, you guys are really coming in. I really appreciate that. What time? What the fuck time is it? I got plenty of time. Plenty of time. Yeah, I've just been relaxing. I watched, let me think of some other things that I watched. I finally got around to watching Sicario. If you guys don't know me very well, I'm a huge fan of like narcotics-based crime TV. So I love Narcos. I'm excited about September 1st. We got Narcos Season 3 where we're gonna learn all about the Cali cartel. And the new ad in Time Magazine really fucked with me, man, because the new ad in Time Magazine like implied that they're gonna go back and show us like the origin of the Cali cartel. Like maybe this season 3 is gonna like go back to the time when, or maybe have flashbacks to the time when Pablo Escobar is running the show. I mean, probably, I guess, but we did see them involved with Pablo Escobar in the first 2 seasons, so I don't know why we would need to go back and see more of that. But the new ad shows like this time. It's weird. It's in Time Magazine, and then they make it look like a Time cover in the ad. Like it's a cover of I want to watch Drake. I want to watch Ozark too. Ozark looks awesome. It's in my queue, and you know it's of the same vein. So crime drama related to narcotics. So that's what I heard anyway. Have not watched it. Boom Girl, welcome to the stream. How you doing? How you doing, Boom Girl? Yeah, I'm just doing, for everyone coming in right now, I'm just doing a quick IRL to have a spoiled discussion about Defenders. We were already talking about Defenders, and then we were talking a little comics in general, and then I'm probably next going to talk about Game of Thrones, because I had issues with that shit too, baby. Not exactly excited about my favorite TV shit right now. That's okay, Boom Girl. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate you being here. Windows Vista. I thought his name was Nuke Nukem, or Nuke in general. You watched Atypical. Is that a show on something, Trab? I haven't seen. Ozark, not bad. I watched. Yeah, Craggle. This is a motherfucking show, Craggle. Motherfucking show. I'm getting in close on this shit. Craggle. I'm going to look right at the camera, too. Craggle, this is a motherfucking show that opens with a motherfucking map. And these fucking assholes don't motherfucking adhere to their own goddamn set distances and time constraints. And don't give me shit about the goddamn ice. All right? I don't want to fucking hear how long ice takes to freeze, and motherfucking how long Ravens can get placed all matches up in the timeline. Okay? Because all I got to say is how long bodies freeze does not match up in the timeline. Those fucking dudes who didn't build a fire, by the way, would all be motherfucking dead by the time her fucking dragon got there. Bullshit. Bullshit. Atypical? Cool. I'll check that out. But yeah, total fucking bullshit. But it gets a pass. It's Game of Thrones, right? It gets a pass. We don't care. We don't care. We'll just, let it be. Game of Thrones gets a pass. I mean, that's how it has to be sometimes, The director said they were fucking with it. No, Craggle. No, Craggle. He didn't go by land. He wouldn't. If you look at the map and you know where Winterfell is, Winterfell is due west from the coast. That's the other thing that's crazy about their jaunts over Dragonstone, like from Winterfell earlier in the season. Like, he has to go by land first. He has to cruise by land in a cart or something to get to the shore. Winterfell is not a coastal fucking castle. It's not over by the coast. So he has to actually cruise, I think, even through, not enemy lands, but lands of the north, other lands of the north. So he gets over to the coast, then he has to take a ship from the coast down. But in the most recent episode, he's not going to stop back at Winterfell, because he's just going right up the coast. He's just going up the east coast of Westeros to get to Eastwatch. Eastwatch is the castle that they went to. They weren't at the Black Castle. They were at Eastwatch, which is all the way in the east. He just cruises up straight from Dragonstone, because Dragonstone's on the east coast of Westeros, and so is Eastwatch on the east coast of Westeros. So it's just one. So that made sense. He's not going to stop back at Winterfell. What didn't make sense is the amount of time he says, go send a raven. Now, I agree with the time schedule for dude running back. I think they were just over the wall, because it's implied numerous times that the Army of the Dead is close, right? So they're close to Eastwatch. They've talked about that. So for Gendry to go running back, he would get there in a short amount of time. I don't even think it would have been hours. Honestly, they said hours. I don't think they were even hours over the wall. So I think he'd probably get back there an hour or two. Two max. He runs back. He gets back there and everything. And then the raven. And then there's the question about how long it takes for a raven to fly. And the question, how long, once the raven gets there, how long for the dragons to fly. And the whole argument online was ice would melt in whatever amount of time. They said, it would be 6 days probably. So one publication was like 4 days. Another publication was like 6 days for the dragon to get back. And then ice would freeze in 6 days. But my question has nothing to do with either of them. That's fine. I agreed with that. My question is, these dudes are surrounded by these whites waiting for the ice to freeze, and they're freezing with it. They didn't build a fire. In fact, we don't know how much time passes, but it looks like they wake up in the morning. In fact, that's what Mrs. Felix said when we were watching it. She said they wake up. A boom tube. Hey, unlike the narrative, if they added boom tubes and teleportation into it, that would be more plausible than what them fucking with their own time. Like, I would rather some weird magical thing happen and be surprised about it, and then them like tell us this is a new thing that's possible. Meaning, like, I don't know, one of the guys is a secret wizard or something. You had two guys who kept creating magical fire on the shaft. Sorry, I'm doing this. Magical fire on the shaft of their swords. They were going, meow, meow. Like, those guys could have done something. Maybe the Lord of Light saves them. I don't know. It could be anything. But fucking with their own rules, the things they established, their own timelines and boundaries, bothered the fuck out of me. I like that. There you go, Craggle. That works within their rules. That would work. That would work. Like, the Ravens were already there. Like, he didn't have to send a Raven at all. Or Bran is fucking with the timeline. Like, I'm fine with all that. Bran is secretly there fucking with the timeline. We find out later. If that gets explained to be that, and it's not just them being sloppy, then I'm going to love it. Like, yeah. So, they did set the body on fire of the guy who died. So maybe one night passes. It doesn't make any sense, though. If it took 6 days for the dragon to fly there, they sleep one night. They couldn't have been sleeping one night. It had to have been multiple days. And they needed some, like, establishing shots showing us that a couple of days had passed. Like something. Like the transition in, the great transition in Raiders of the Lost Ark, where Indy's probably out there for days digging that fucking hole, but we see him digging. You know what I mean? Like, you see them sleeping through the night, they build a fire. I don't know, but 6 days just sitting in the freezing cold, surrounded by whites. Are we going to be alive at the end of that? Are they going to be able to fight? No, they're all going to be frozen. I don't know. I don't know how long it takes for a body to freeze, so I guess we're fine. I'm so depressed now. Oh, God. Yeah, so I got to watch the Ozarks, and you guys mentioned Atypical. And Atypical's Netflix there, Trab? Is that what you were saying? This is good goddamn coffee. I'm loving it. Trav is like, Bran is the Night King. Trav, I'm not going to rule it out, bro. I'm not going to rule it out. Well, why do you think Bran is the Night King, Trav? I don't understand. I'm not going to get it. Not going to get it. Why is Bran the Night King? I don't get it. Trav, are you just fucking with me? Are you serious? Do you think that if they added a montage of them on the island freezing and sitting by a fire, all would be forgiven? Are you saying that seriously, or are you just fucking with me? I think you're just fucking with me. I think you're not serious, and you're fucking with me. He's going to go back in time and get stuck in the Night King's head? I see. So he's going to do what he did to Hodor. 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 Yeah, right now my parents are awake and they probably think I'm a fucking lunatic. Thanks, guys. It's all. We're all in this together, baby. Oh, by the way, the shirt I'm wearing, this is Jessica Jones from the comic. So Mrs. Felix got me this shirt at one point when I was reading the Alias Investigation comic. So, pretty cool. All right. So I think we did well today. We talked a little bit about Defenders. We talked a little bit about comics. We talked a little bit about Game of Thrones, a little bit about that fucky shit. Oh, you know what we didn't talk about Game of Thrones? I asked you guys where you think this is going. Like, what do you think is going to happen in the final episode? I mean, I don't really care if we're spoiling it. We're not spoiling it. We're speculating. Like, do you think they're gonna like? I think they're just gonna they're gonna take the body back to Cersei and she's gonna try and betray him, and then right at the end of the episode, Cersei's gonna be surprised that the Night King's real or something. No, it can't be that. The Night King can't be that far south at that point. So I don't even know what's gonna happen. I can't wait for the Clegane Bowl. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Wonder when that's going to happen, though. I mean, he's got to get his vengeance, man. They've been talking out their ass about that shit. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool. He's got to get his vengeance for his brother burning his face and shit. Why not? And I want to see what his brother turned into, because he's clearly undead, right? He's not fucking. The fucking dude is not living. There's something weird going on there, man. That's the darkest magic. The darkest magic you can imagine. Everyone dies. Arya uses their faces to sell pies for hot pie. Like, is the crust? Like, every pie is a different face of a character in the show? That'd be good. Do you guys have any questions for me before I wrap this shit up? Anything. I don't even care. Not that it matters. I mean, I'm just me. I will tell you that probably my next official stream will be this Sunday coming up. So I'm officially back from vacation on Saturday. So I officially come back Saturday. Cersei joins them to fight the White Walkers and secretly wants to sabotage. Jaime kills her. Great. Perfect. That sounds like Trav. That's plausible as hell. I like what you're saying there. I'm Cersei Lannister. Let me tell you all about these pies. You're talking about Arya wearing Cersei's face. Dude, if there is an episode in one of these seasons, not necessarily next episode, but like maybe next season, if there's like a final scene where fucking Arya is wearing Cersei's face, that's gonna be fucking. That's gonna be cool. That's gonna be real cool, dude. You know, like they all think the Mad Queen is dead or whatever, and then all of a sudden we find out, and we think she's still alive, and she like walks into a room, and it's fucking the actress who plays Cersei, and then takes her fucking face off, and it's Arya. It'd be fucking dope as shit, dude. Like we think the Mad Queen got away, and she didn't. Arya's just wearing her motherfucking face. That's so good. That would be so good. I'd be like, yeah. Hey, can I ask you guys if you saw Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles? Did you guys see that? I think it's some of the best TV I've ever watched, and it's because of Lena Headey, you know, who plays Cersei Lannister. She's so good as Sarah Connor, and it's really neat because you watch Terminator 1, 2, and it picks up right after Terminator 2. So if you were a huge fan of 3, you're going to hate this because it skips that and pretends it didn't happen. Yeah, dude, like it's Terminator 2, the Sarah Connor Chronicles is fucking, man, it's good shit. It's really good. It's only 2 seasons. It's weird. It's got like Shelley Garbage, or who's the chick from Garbage? Scottish chick from Garbage. What's her name? Sherry, Sarah. Goddamn, I'm never gonna remember her name. Why did I say Shelley? Is her name Shelley? Joe, I think it was a Fox show, so it could be on Netflix, but I don't really know. I'm using my phone for this shit, so Shirley Manson, that's it. I was like Shelley. I was like Shelley Garbage. The band was called Garbage. I get it. Shelley Garbage. Live tonight, Shelley Garbage. Hashtag Shelley Garbage. I don't know. I think I watched Sarah Connor Chronicles at one point. I think I watched the 2 seasons on Amazon Prime. I don't know if they're still on Prime. But I watched it on Prime Video streaming, I believe. Yeah. But it's good. It's so good. And it's interesting because at the time, I think they were trying to tie that show into the movie with Christian Bale. So they seem to tie those really well together. So if you go 1, 2, Terminator 1, Terminator 2, the show, and then roll right into the Christian Bale movie, Salvation, it's actually flows really well in terms of story. It skips right over 3. But yeah, just thought I'd point that out. She's really good in that. It's a really good show. I love it. You should do a Boardwalk IRL stream. I could probably do that, Trav, at some point. You know what? I don't know, though, because that kind of, doesn't that reveal your location? There's all these fucking rules now. Because of the idiots who, remember the one dude who he was doing an IRL stream and he disclosed he was on a plane. Someone figured it out and they swatted him on a fucking plane. Like, I mean, now they have rules set in place. I have to read them before I fucking start this, by the way. there are like rules set in place about certain things, and I don't think they're advisory. I think you can get banned if you break the rules, if you like reveal your location and shit. But I don't know if that's true. Just thought that was the impression I got from the fucking page of shit I had to agree to before I fucking went live. Yeah, because if I'm doing a Boardwalk IRL stream, there's like landmarks there where you can see where the fuck I am and that kind of shit. So, Resident Asshole. That is the greatest fucking name I've ever seen. I just want to let you know, you managed to get on Twitch. You managed to get Resident Asshole as your name, and I'm so excited about that. Everyone follow Resident Asshole. Resident Asshole, are you a streamer or are you just a Resident Asshole? Do you just come in and troll, or what do you do? Oh, Sarah Connor is not on Netflix. Hey, welcome, Resident Asshole. Fuck Iron Fist. That's fine. Not a lot of people liked Iron Fist. I understood by applying a certain lens to Iron Fist. I was able to watch it and understand it. But Resident Asshole, welcome. I appreciate you being an asshole. But yeah, Iron Fist. Yeah, dude. It's not who the character should be. We all know that. All of us who know who the character is. Yeah. I mean, they made Defenders him. That's what they did. They made the whole Defenders about him. So if you hated him in Iron Fist, holy shit, you're not gonna like Defenders, bro. Spoiler alert. Yeah, it's pretty bad. No, I was talking earlier, Resident Asshole, but I had problems with the Defenders. I got through. I was okay getting through Iron Fist, but I thought it was going to lead to something bigger in Defenders, and it just didn't. So it's kind of a letdown, dude. I talked about that earlier. I don't know. I think I'm going to wrap up, guys. So my normal stream schedule for any new people who came in today who want to watch me play games, I'll just let you guys know. So normally, I stream around this time, 7:30 to 11:30 on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Yeah, and Resident Asshole, what I was saying about Daredevil is they're trying to make the claim that the Daredevil storyline is going to be based on Born Again by Frank Miller, but the way they ended Defenders seems like they're pointing towards Shadowland. Like, I think it's going to be Shadowland. I think it would be really cool if it was Shadowland. But that's where Daredevil like controls the hand and like, you know, is being controlled by like an ancient mythical beast, and creates literally Shadowland, a prison in Hell's Kitchen. I think it'd be really cool. I think Resident Asshole, I agree with you on that. I think Punisher is going to be terrific. I was saying earlier, Punisher's my favorite character, and I think my favorite Punisher so far. I mean, I grew up watching them all, so I watched, you know, Dolph Lundgren play Punisher in '89. And then in 2004, Thomas Jane played Punisher. And then, who's the 2007 Punisher guy? What's his name again? Ray Stevenson. So I think, hey, thank you for the follow, Resident Asshole. I appreciate that. Love your name. Yeah, right. Season 3 won't be till the end of next year. But I think on the whole, yeah, Iron Fist was weak. Defenders was weak. I just think I still think it's better than most of the other superhero TV that's out there. Resident Asshole, you can call me Denny. I will call you Denny if you're good with that. I mean, I still think Resident Asshole is awesome. You don't have to change your name. Resident Denny. You could call yourself Resident Denny. I mean, can you change your name? I don't even know if you can, but yeah, I think Defenders set up some really interesting shit for each of the respective characters' seasons. So I'm excited about that. Especially with Misty Knight and Colin Wing and those characters. So we'll see. Anyway, I was trying to wrap up. I gotta wrap up because I gotta get on a ferry, guys. Ferry, a ferry, I'm going to ride a ferry. But my normal stream schedule, 7:30 to 11:30 Wednesday and Thursday. I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. Just letting you guys know, because I'm on vacation. I'm not home. When I get back, it's going to be a Sunday stream coming up. It's going to be a morning stream, 7:30 to whenever. And right now, I'm playing a mix of games. I got hardcore into Diablo 3. I got really excited about that game. So I might play Diablo 3. But the two main single-player experience games that I'm playing right now, I think the last one I played was Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm alternating. So I think when I come back, maybe on Sunday, I might play Shadow of Mordor again, because Shadow of Mordor is what I've been playing through, and I'm getting real close to finishing that. And I want to finish that so that I can play Shadow of War when that comes out. So definitely come back this Sunday coming up. I'll be streaming again. Besides that, I'm also a host of a podcast. I don't have the ability to type in the chat when I'm doing these IRL streams. So my podcast can be searched in iTunes. It's Emergent Gamer Podcast. It's for pseudo-intellectual dudes who just sit around and talk about their love of games and are not afraid to talk about other media. What level am I in Diablo? I have a seasonal character, and then I have a non-seasonal character. And I believe the seasonal character got to level 40. It's insane. In seasonal, you just level up so fast. And the non-seasonal character, I think, is currently at... I think she just passed maybe level 15? 12 or 15. I can't remember. But yeah, Emergent Gamer Podcast. And our last episode, 136, by the way, that's 136 weeks. That's how long we've been doing this motherfucker. But if you type in iTunes Emergent Gamer Podcast, or if you have an Android, there's an app called Podcast Republic that me and the community here with Felix Hergood have determined that one of my stream viewers, Des, determined that Podcast Republic is a free app you can download on Android that accesses iTunes distribution. So you can download that and then search for Emergent Gamer Podcast, and then you'll find us. You can also listen from our website. So when you go, if you follow me on Twitter, on Twitter, mainly just Twitter, my pinned tweet is always the link to the website. So if you go to that, you can link the show on the pinned tweet. There's also the Emergent Gamer actual Twitter account, which you can follow, Emergent_Gamer. If you follow that, you'll get the episodes. The links to the website will be in there. So you can just click the link and it'll go right to the website. But we're trying, I got into gaming and streaming live games because I wanted to promote the podcast. We like to sit around, we were just fucking jerks who sit around a room and talk games. That's what we did. We didn't want to do it in work anymore. We knew each other from our job, and we didn't want to do that in work. We wanted to do it out of work. It's like our fucking poker night. We get together, we just sit around, talk games, and then we post it to you guys. So, and believe me, follow me on Twitter so you can interact with me in DMs or whatever about giving me ideas for what shows should be about. And we'll take your ideas and we'll go with it. And hopefully one day when I can technologically figure it the fuck out, I'll make it so that you guys can also come live on the show. You know, anyone who becomes a part of the community, my community here, or the Emergent Gamer Podcast community as a whole, will get an opportunity to eventually be on a show if you guys are early adopters of what we're fucking all about. So please do that. Please give us a follow. Other than that, I'm going to take off, get back to vacation life, and I appreciate everyone who was fucking in here. Trav is like, Felix will take all ideas. Not all of them, Trav. Just ones that are good. But yeah, Trav is on a ton of our episodes. The guy who's talking in the chat. Trav is actually smarter than me, and more astute, and, well, actually, when you say things, Trab, you're more believable than me. People trust listening to Trab. So, or at least I do. When I go back and listen to episodes and I listen to him talk, I'm just mesmerized. He's a pretty dope dude, and you can catch him on a ton of our episodes. Go back and listen to old ones, because not every one of our episodes are just, not all our episodes, our format for episodes is not just news. Like I said, when I say pseudo intellectuals talking about games, we do a period of time where we just talk about games we're playing. And they could be games that were 2 years ago or 5 years ago, or a retro game, or a game that, or we speculate about games that could be coming out. Like, we have episodes where we just talk about all kinds of stuff. So please check those out. And Trav is featured on them, so you hear his voice, and you'll hear more of me. I usually tangent the shows and fuck everything up, because that's the kind of person I am, going off on tangents. You've witnessed it for the last whatever amount of time you've been here. But yeah, you guys, like I said, Joe, thanks for being here. Too Nasty, thanks for being in here. Trab, thanks for being in here. Nice to meet you, resident asshole, or Denny. I appreciate you coming in, and I appreciate all the other guys who came in as well. Craggle and all the guys who were here this morning, because, you know, without you guys, the stream wouldn't be nothing yet. So, but it was really great. I think the number of people that were in here watching at one point got as high as 20. That's a lot of people to be watching me just fucking talk out my asshole, right? So thanks a lot, guys, and I appreciate everything, and I'll see you guys soon, all right? I'll see you on Sunday, provided the ferry gets from point A to point B. How the fuck do I end this piece of shit? God damn it.